Welcome to another episode of Guess Who's in the Building. This is the third episode, you guys, and I have the lovely Call Me Ace.
Hey.
Call him Ace.
Yeah, you don't gotta call me Ace,
Yeah.
unless it's a formal situation.
You know, I actually like that name, just call me Ace. It's like, hey, this is my friend, you can call him Ace. So that's
exactly.
that is fine. So how are you doing this beautiful Wednesday? Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
So yes. Somebody should have pinched us.
I know, right? It's my little brother's birthday today, so it's good for him. Celebrating his life. Yeah, good overall. Can't complain. Back-to-back meetings since 8 a.m. But it's the hustle.
Yeah, it is. What you do, I mean, of course, it's a hustle, and that's something that for a very, very long time. Introduce yourself and let people know what you do for those who don't know what you do.
Yeah, no, for sure. So call me Ace. In real life, Ace Patterson. I'm a independent hip hop artist. Been doing that for a few years as a professional. And when I mean professional, I mean, actually getting my business paperwork in order, actually having it in such a way where I can get paid for the things that I love to do. I did make music back in the day, but I didn't really understand a lot of the ins and outs on the business side. It was just, I was a creative person that knew how to rhyme and perform and all that stuff. But, doing it professionally for 5 years now. It's crazy how time flies. And then on top of that, I have a day job as well. So working big tech and juggling both has been quite the journey, for sure, to say the least.
Well, I can definitely say it probably hasn't been easy. Like how do you balance that though?
Yeah, it really comes down to time management, boundaries. I am one of those people that I do say yes a lot, and I like to take on a lot of things, partly because I like to serve and help people. Another is because I just feel like there's nothing I really can't do. So I'm like, yeah, sure, right? But then over time, you kind of realize, like, in order to be the most successful that you can be, it is important to prioritize, to delegate, to streamline certain things. You don't have to do all the things to get to where it is that you need to go. Sometimes it's like, there's this Pareto principle, which I'm sure you're familiar with, where it's like, the 80% of what you see comes from like 20% of what you're doing, and 20% of what you see is the car or whatever. I probably messed up that rule, but basically, like, there's certain things that you could be doing that if you just do that, you can like get a lot more done than if you're just doing all of the different things. And so, when you're first starting off as an artist, you got a fan of 0 or maybe 1, depending on like how much you really treat yourself as a fan versus the creator. But you have to like build. You have to build from scratch, and you have to like get a fan base and get your music out there. Get 1 stream to 2 streams, or 1 sale to 2 sales. But then like over time, as you continue to grow, you realize like, okay, like I can't spend all my time doing all the things. Maybe I have to really focus here and find help with a booking agent or a publicist or a marketer or an engineer. I'm not going to engineer my own music anymore, things like that, right? And so a lot of that, as well as just, hey man, I don't sleep normally. Like I went to sleep at 1:45 a.m. I had to wake up early, to start the day again. Like sometimes you just gotta, right? Like be flexible with yourself. Obviously find time to relax and, regenerate. But other times it's just sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like being uncomfortable. It's not comfortable to go kind of outside of the norm of what people, right? Like just a regular, I'll go to work at 9, I get off at 5, then I go home, I watch Netflix, I eat dinner, I shower, I go to sleep. Like that's beautiful. Shout outs to that. But like, that's definitely not my life. Right. And so I think you can't have it all. And so just understanding like, what is your why and why are you even doing the things that you're doing? Having that guide you when it gets hard, when you are in a situation where like, maybe your fans aren't reacting well to the music that you just dropped, or maybe you have a really large deadline at work and you can't make as much music as you want to in this current season, right? Like getting through those highs and lows, staying focused will get you through. Hopefully
Right.
that answers your
Yeah,
question.
it says a lot. It says a lot because I can relate to some of that when it comes to, going to bed late and then having to wake up early, knowing that you got something going on at 8 o'clock in the morning, but you choose to still be up doing something because your brain doesn't sleep. Like sometimes like that for me, like my brain does not sleep. I'll be up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. My folks getting up in the house, get ready for work, and I'm finna go to bed.
Yeah.
So I'm like on the opposite when it comes to people. And then when it comes to, like you said, taking on so many different things, not knowing how to say no because you just have that heart of, okay, you can put me anywhere, I can do it. That's something I have to do because I would take on things. I'm like, yeah, I can do it. And then my body just be like, girl, you can't. Why'd you do that?
I love that you said that. Yes, like listening to your body is also true. Like, especially if you like, and I'm not condoning like, slave yourself for the work or whatever the case may be, right? Like it is a choice. I love that you said it's a choice. Like I choose to not put off to tomorrow what I can do today. And like there's a jillion different things that like honestly, if I sat down and tried to do them all, I would never sleep, right? So like you have to choose when to, keep pushing through that extra, 30 hour, whatever, and then go to sleep. And then the other stuff, right, I'm gonna put off to right. So you have to make those choices. But, again, like listening to your body, like sometimes I'll, keep moving and, all of a sudden it's like, I'm not moving as sharp. You know what I mean? Or like, I don't really care about, okay, if I miss that meeting, whatever, right? Like as soon as you start like doing that kind of stuff, or the thing that you love is starting to become the thing that you hate, like it's all right, gotta right reset, rejuvenate. It's very important.
Definitely. So let's get a little more about you and your background. Like you are from Connecticut, right?
Yeah, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay, your family is actually from Jamaica.
That is very true. I was the first one born here.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever like visit your homeland or anything?
For sure.
What's it like? I've never been to Jamaica. I know a lot of people.
Never.
Like
you gotta go.
Never been to Jamaica. How else am I gonna get there if I've never been on a plane before? So
need to get you on a plane to Jamaica. That is get it all done. My first time in Jamaica, I was 3 years old, and I went a few times after that. So I mean, what's cool too is like growing up, like I grew up Jamaican. I just lived in the United States, you know what I mean? So as far as like going back home, I mean, the first time that I went back home, I was just like, man, it just feels like I'm just like in this, I don't know, I like the woods. That's how I felt. I was just like in the woods, it was just grass, and just walk around barefoot. You take a bath in the river, you're eating sugar cane and mango. It was just like, we're in the woods, because like in Bridgeport, it's city life, it's buildings, it's, you know what I mean? And so like, I was very used to that and not so much with like dirt roads and stuff like that. And then as I got older, we would stay in like different places. The last time that I went, it was with my wife, and it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I don't know. The pandemic and my brain are not compatible right now. But at some point recently, I was in Jamaica, and definitely wasn't in the dirt road part of Jamaica that time around. Although, it's still visited a tad bit, but, just like even seeing Montego Bay, like that was the first time, honestly, because my family's not from Mobe, but, that was my first time in Montego Bay. And I felt way more as a tourist in Jamaica, even though I was still, speaking Patois or whatever, just because that's not where I'm from, right? And so I feel like going to Jamaica, well, even just like growing up, like I was always called a Yachty boy just because I was born here. And so it at the same exact time though, I had oxtail and curry goat and rice and peas, ackee and sawfish, like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know what I mean? So like growing up, I lived in a Jamaican culture, and like Bridgeport, Connecticut, New York, that metro area, like we have a whole bunch of people that come from the Caribbean there. So you got Mama's Patties down the street, and my best friend is Jamaican. My sister, I call her my sister. We're just best friends from the private school we went to 15 minutes away. You know, she's Jamaican. And so just being around other Jamaicans in America was like nothing to me, you know what I mean? But then as I like really grew up, got older and started to understand just the diaspora in general, I was like, oh, okay. I can see how like my American experience transforms some of the different ways that I think about being Jamaican, you know what I mean? Or just like the privileges and access that we have being in this country, how that differs from, you know, my family and relatives back home. So, you know, I definitely have more of a conscious feeling about it, but growing up, couldn't really tell because my dad was still outside playing dominoes, you know what I mean? So I didn't really know. I was like, hey, we out here.
Is this part of my lifestyle?
That's it, yeah.
A couple other things that were a part of your lifestyle growing up was that you had a lot of different interests in stuff like drawing and acting and even poetry. Yeah. So when did you find the time? Well, when did you decide you just wanted to go into rapping, you know, or music in general?
Yeah. It's interesting because when I was a kid, my mom, when we bounced around from house to house to homeless shelter to house to, you know, that whole thing. But we always had this like dream that like somehow, some way, me and my siblings was gonna be like the next Jackson 5 Boyz II Men kind of thing or whatever. So like growing up, even though I wasn't a rapper or nothing, like we would practice like what's that? The End of the Road, Boyz II Men. We practice like Whitney Houston back before I hit puberty, you know, try to hit those high notes. Or you know, I would do Beanie Man, when I came back from Jamaica when I was 4 years old, and I was doing a Simma, who got the keys to my people? Like I was going in, you know what I mean? And we was like, oh, we gonna go crazy, you know. We was just dreaming in the homeless shelter. But it was when I was doing poetry, and I was winning these awards for my poetry. But in middle school, being a poet wasn't cool, you know. And so, in order to, you know, kind of fit in with my environment, I was like, all right, well then let me just take my love and ability to like make words rhyme or like create some kind of flow and just throw it over to, you know, throw it over some music. And so that's really kind of where it came from, just the peer pressure of wanting to like get my voice heard in a medium that my surroundings could appreciate and receive. And then it, you know, it kind of took off from there. Now it's beautiful because as I do what I'm doing now from the business perspective, I think about all of those different aspects of my life that I love, or my creativity that I love. Like I love, like you said, drawing. And so, you know, I make my own logos, my artwork or whatever. You know, the poetry, I think of my lyrics. If you just take the music off of it, it is poetry, right? And then, you know, the acting, the performances, right? Like that's how I think about just being able to embody. Matter of fact, I have a live video performance dropping on Friday. And, you know, you kind of get to see, it feels more than just like me standing in front of a microphone and just rapping, right? Like I really want to give like a full kind of like black box theater feeling, you know, when you watch it. And so really being able to channel that as well. I got to do all of those different things that I love from a creative standpoint, all in this thing that we call being a musician, being a rapper, you know? And so it's honestly been like awesome to kind of like realize that, you know what I mean? And, you know, I got a day job on top of that. So I can't do all the different things separately. I gotta figure it out. That's it. So I get to do all the things once.
Yeah. I mean, but hey, I mean, I feel like you're doing that. You know, you, like I said, you've been doing this for a long time now. And I feel like, you know, you have that balance. You're not a procrastinator like me.
What you mean?
I am a procrastinator. I'll say, I'm too. Right now, I'm probably watching wrestling or something. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go do this right now. Boom, something is happening somewhere else. I'm like, you know what? Okay, finally, 3:00 in the morning. That's what I started doing.
That's the choice we made, right? But that's the choice we made. And I'm not even gonna front with you. I'm not gonna act like I didn't just play NBA 2K on the PS5 and right. I did my first season as a rookie. I got Rookie of the Year. I won Western Conference and I won the playoff. Like I needed to get through the whole season in about like 3 weeks. Got that out my system. I'm like, I'm not doing season 2 now. I can focus. So you know, like sometimes, right? Like, and that was my brain saying, hey, like just relax, just relax. And I try in this day and age, because when I was younger, I'd feel like I do 50 things at the same time and then end the day like I did nothing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now I'm trying to be like, yo, even if I did 3 of the 5 things that I set myself up to do today, I did 3 of the 5 things. Like be thankful that I did 3 of the 5 things instead of being so upset that I didn't do the 2. Now my to-do list is ridiculous. It's like 100 lines plus one. Like 5 is like that. That's me like ignoring the 95 to focus on the 5. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But even still, I'm not gonna shame myself. Like it's already hard enough being a creative entrepreneur, independent, going about it in the way that you see fit as a self-employed or whatever entrepreneur. So why make it harder by hating your output? Do what you can, be thankful for what you were able to do, figure out what you need to do to get it done next time. And that's really what it comes out. I'm putting it into practice. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but that's the mindset that I have as I'm like playing 2K. I'm like, all right, this was a break. You know what I
mean? Sometimes that is our body and our brain telling us to like just relax for a minute. Yeah. It's okay to take you a break. You don't always have to, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Sometimes just meant to do this. I think this is why distractions come in. It's just like you just need a break from all the hard work that you have been putting in today, yesterday, or just this week in general.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it's a lot of us forget.
Facts. Very true.
Definitely. So when we move over, you're getting into your career and whatnot, and you're going off into college and everything. I think you was one of the co-founders in Columbia University Society of Hip Hop.
That's it. Kush.
What inspired this to take place?
Yeah, it really just came out of the folks that I co-founded it with. We were making music anyway. Shout out to Mpo Brown, one of the first people that I met on campus. He had braids. I had braids at the time. I was like, yo, who does your braids? He was like, I don't know yet. I was like, I bet we gonna figure it out together. And then from that point forward, we just walked through New York City together, live happily ever after. So I found out that he was a rapper, I was a rapper. And so we would just do this, all the time. And then our other homie, he would make beats too. And so we were just doing that regardless. And so, and we would freestyle all the time, et cetera, et cetera. But at that time, there was no like space for hip hop. Like even when you think about like just kind of the classes that you would see or, sign up for or whatever, there just really wasn't like much of the things that we actually had cared about. So it's like, yeah, let's just, create something. And at the time it wasn't an official Columbia group. We lived in this house, this intercultural resource center where we had kind of like house groups. And so that's how it started. We just created a house group, played off the name Kush because it was funny to us. And, we just went from there. And then it ended up being something that, grew to, having 100 people coming out to every cypher that we would do. And, we got to open up for Snoop Dogg before graduating. And I just recently spoke to the leaders of Kush today. Like, I love the fact that it's an official group now at Columbia. We're actually working on archiving the history of Columbia University Society of Hip Hop and its influence on the campus. And just really celebrating the legacy of the folks that, kind of came after my class. So it's a beautiful thing. Did not think it was going to go that far at all. But it's beautiful to see, just I think if anything, just the importance that group and the genre of rap and the culture of hip hop has in the world, if we're, going to be serious about it, right? And so I'm thankful that it wasn't just like it was a cool, fun thing that we did and it just kind of died out, but that it's alive and thriving.
I think that's amazing. So, you guys being, the founders of that, and to have a legacy of this new generation that's coming up and being a part of it, like, and to not even expect it to even just still be going on, that's amazing.
Yeah. No,
definitely. Like, kudos to you guys, though, and kudos to everyone who choose to join Society of Hip Hop. I wish I knew about it.
And so many people at the beginning, you know, like I remember we were like, shout outs to Geraldine Rodriguez, who, you know, she had like actual like e-board experience. I remember when she jumped in, she was like, yo, y'all, like, we gotta have like meetings, you know, like we gotta have like board meetings, because we was just like kicking it in like, you know, dorm rooms, freestyling, and like, I bet we're gonna do the same thing on Thursday, right? She was like, we need structure, you know what I mean? It's just like, shout out to the whole squad at the beginning to really like give us our sea legs, you know, and yeah, just celebrate the whole Kush family tree, you know. Everyone played an awesome role, and yeah, like you said, it's a legacy, and it's pretty dope.
It is, you know. And then, you know, moving forward, you end up getting your bachelor's in anthropology, I think.
Yeah.
That's a long word. I'm like,
it's a long word. And then it's actually longer. It was sociocultural anthropology. That's what I got my bachelor's in. I know. No, yeah. What it really was. So what it really was, right? My sister went to college on my mom's side. On my dad's side, I was the first one to go to college. On my mom's side, I was the second. My older sister went. I went thinking, okay, I got to do economics because that's like that's business, and that's what like people want you to do. It's like a business thing. Da, 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 da. My grades were so horrific that I was like, I should probably just drop out. I was like, no, I'm not gonna drop out because, you know, I gotta, you know, I'm doing this for my people. I'm not just doing this for myself, you know, that kind of thing. But I just moved away from math completely. And this is like the kid that, you know, I was the math kid in you know, in high school, whatever. And then I saw that, I was like, yo, I need like words. I need, you know, let me go to my strengths, right? And so I started anthropology. Social culture anthropology was cool because I got to study cultures. And so I would write, for example, and this is where I felt like I like gamed the system, because like I got to write about, for example, what does it mean to be a Jamaican that was born in America, right? Like literally everything we just talked about earlier. Like I got to write a 20-page paper about my life and get like an A+ on it in my Caribbean studies class. You know what I mean? Like that was what anthropology was for me, was like, let me just like take these. I had a Chinese societies class where we, you know, learned about, I got to write a paper on the Chinese influence in Jamaica. I got to write another paper about kung fu influence in the Black communities in the 70s around the Black exploitation era. Like this is my life, but I'm like turning my life into papers. Like that's so I didn't realize that I should have been taking a major that was gonna help me get a job afterwards. I was just trying to get through. Once I got through and I got these papers done, I was like, all right, where the job's at? And I ended up having no job for like 6 months. So that's what anthropology was for me. Yeah, you know. But then I find out like years later, right, that anthropology and ethnography is actually like a precursor for marketing, because if you understand people and cultures and how people you know, relate to this or that or the third, you know how to like communicate to them in a way that like has value. So then I found out, like, only by the grace of God, that I was like preparing myself to be a marketer. Who knew? Not me.
Maybe it just fell in your hands.
Hey, listen, I caught it. Took 3 years, but I caught it.
I mean, but you know, you went on to continue to collect all these degrees and stuff, and you know, you end up working at Facebook at some point, and then you dropped this video about you quitting Facebook. Like, that is so fire, to the point where if I could have done that for my job, I would have felt so accomplished.
Why you say that?
Like, just sit here, and not the fact that I didn't hate my job, it's just the fact that I didn't like the management was terrible, and they made have you ever just worked at a job that just make you feel like, oh, if the management is walking around, you have to be silent until they walk away. Like you can't talk to nobody. They can talk to each other. They can walk around the store on their phones, but if they see you communicating with another team member, you're not doing nothing. Why are we? So it felt like you just had to stay in your own box there and just walk needles. Maybe for them, but it didn't work for me because I talk to everybody. So,
Word. Yeah.
so but you know, I felt that that is so like amazing for you to even do something like that. Goodbye. This is my I'm quitting. Resolution letter to you.
Yeah, nah, it was fun to like reflect on, you know, just the time that I had. What was really cool putting that video together was all of the like, not like, there's only one scene in that video where it's like of the current day or the current day at that time. But then every other clip, every other scene, every other picture, every other video was from like my 2 years working at Facebook, you know? And so what was really cool was being able to like just kind of see like, yo, I performed a lot on that campus. You know what I mean? Like I was on this stage, that stage, this crowd. I was performing in meetings. I was performing, you know, in front of, right, like the chief marketing officer. I was performing, you know, in all these different ways, and just really like, just giving myself, you know, just because, and you know, shout outs to the Black Act community at Facebook, because, you know, they held me down. You know, I still connect with the majority of folks, you know, from the Black Act. It was definitely, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that time. Facebook was also the time when I got to be a rapper at the job, because prior to that, I was at Deloitte, and that was very much like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, you know, I fly out after, you know, I take work, you know, but I wouldn't bring that side of me to work, right? Whereas at Facebook, you know, it started to come out more, partly because like, you know, Instagram's owned by Facebook. People at Facebook follow you on Instagram. I don't have like a dual personality. Everything on my IG is exactly who I am. So it's like, oh, you rap? You know, it's just like natural conversation, right? And so it was like inevitable that they blended, right? And so, yeah, like when you watch the Facebook video, you know, you kind of see like, is this what Ace did at work? You know, and like, it's true. Like it was all on the job. I think that's the craziest part about it.
But yeah, it's really a very, very dope video, and a way to kind of close that door of you working, you know, at Facebook and then moving on to something bigger and better. You know, recently when we get into your music, you actually did drop a video called To Like Work Like That.
Yeah,
and me so much of a childish Gambino, like it gave me that in that video. And you remind me a little bit about him when it comes to music and stuff. And he's extremely talented, and you're extremely talented. So Work Like That, let's talk about it. Like what just like inspired this whole entire video?
Yeah. Shout outs to New Media for, you know, helping me come up with this concept. You know, they really like you know, Work Like That has this sense of, I'm in my own zone. We're on the rise. The people that's been with me, they know it. They've been tapped in. But you see like people kind of on the outside that, you know, they see you shining, and so they want a piece of you, but they don't really want you. They just want what they see. And so it's a way to kind of like bring people in a bit and be like, oh, you want me? Like, let me show you the fullness of what I'm doing. Now, if you're with that, then you're with that. And if you're not, then, you know, you're back on the outside. And the dancing aspect that they brought into the video, I thought was really fun. One, because I like dance a lot. I'm hyperactive, and that's just the kind of life that I actually live. But also just like kind of thinking about it, it's like I'm in my own zone. Like my only competition is against myself. Like, why do I work like that? Because I have a vision, I have a goal, I have a calling, and I'm pursuing that regardless of whether you like me or not, regardless of if you purchasing my music or you're not. Like, I'm thankful for the people that support me, and I give myself to them, which is why, like, you know, with Work Like That, it's like, we on the rise, horizon looks sunny. Like, how are you gonna say that we was lucky you wasn't involved? It's like, for the people that's been involved, they know this isn't luck. They know that they're the ones keeping this plane flying, right? And so it's kind of like a ha-ha to the people that want to be a part, but they can't be a part because they don't even, deep inside, they don't want to support you. They just want to look at you shine, right? And so the dancing is just kind of like, y'all can't do nothing. You know what I mean? I can't do like we on the rise. What you gonna do? I know you want it, but you can't even admit it to yourself that you can't help. So what's popping? You know what I mean? And so I love how it like all came together. And then, you know, like the suit and tie, I mean, the album that I just dropped, Work Like That, is the single off the album Out of Office. And so, you know, just had to bring that, you know, suit and tie feel, just to, you know, make it feel corporate and businessy and whatnot. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love the video. It's amazing. The song is amazing. Your project, Out of the Office, is amazing. I think that was inspired by, you know, the pandemic and stuff that was going on last year. That is, I guess, still going on. You know, no people really talk about it like that much.
Yeah, but
it's still going on.
No.
But the video was amazing. Your project was amazing, and then you dropped a bunch of other different visuals. Love Good, I think was something about your wife and everything. And I know you travel around the world and stuff, and you're both multilingual.
Look at you! Yes.
You guys dabble in so many different cultures and languages that you guys can go anywhere and speak to them like you've been living there or like you were a natural. Maybe not for but
not Romania.
I think that's so dope that, you know, people go and they travel to different, you know, countries and, you know, experience their culture, you know, the way they come and experience the American culture over here. So I think that's really dope. So when you're not creating music or working, you know, your other job or traveling the world, what do you do in your relaxed time besides playing 2K?
I hang out with my wife. We just got cornhole where you throw the bags in the hole like far away, whatever. That's, you know, a small thing. You know, we move around. We like hanging out with family, friends. Yeah, just keep it chill for the most part. I love to, you know, the thing I was gonna say, and it depends on who you are. For me, volunteering and giving my time is a form of me taking care of myself because, you know, it's me, or, you know, it's part of my calling as well. It doesn't feel like work for me to give. In fact, it feels very fulfilling. It feels like I'm moving with significance. I'm moving like I wasn't put in this position to have and not give. And you know, my whole desire is to create access and opportunity for those that need it, especially if you know, come from anywhere close to similar background as where I'm from. And so being able to connect with people, pour in, like just even getting to meet you, you know what I mean? And have this conversation, for me, this fills me up with so much energy to go on and do, you know, whatever else it is that I need to do. So I love moments like those, and I try to make time for that as well.
Amazing. Last, before we go ahead and get on out of here, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your day, Ace.
Of course, likewise.
At the Culture Commentator, at Guess Who's in the Building. This is just what we do over here. We have fun. We bring so many different people. Well, it's me, because I'm not a person to do this. It's me, and we everybody. We just have a great time. It's just relaxation. It's nothing to worry about. Not no hard questions like I'm trying to ask you for your social security number or anything like that. You know, because people get a little crazy. But yeah, I do thank you so much for taking your time out to speak with me. Yeah. So everyone, you know, keep up with you, and you know, what is something that your goal for 2021?
My goal for 2021 is to let every single person that supports me on this music journey know that I see you, I'm thankful for you, and I want to like build an actual relationship with you. And so I'm less concerned about like, oh, look at how many people are following or streaming or da-da-da-da. It's like, nah, if you are the one that is pushing this plane forward, if you're the one that's keeping us in the air, like I want to know, I want to connect with you, I want to say thank you, and I want to build a real relationship with you. That's my goal this year. I'm less concerned about I'm gonna still make music, I'm gonna still drop videos, I'm gonna still push, I'm gonna still do the marketing, I'm gonna still have fun. But at the end of the day, if I'm not connecting with real people, what am I doing this for? And I just want to ensure that that's what's happening this year.
Awesome. Where can everyone keep up with you?
IG, call me Ace Legit, Legit. And then, callmeace.com. All the digital streaming platforms, youtube.com/callmeace. And I send out every Sunday, I send out a Sunday syllabus with just words of encouragement, some readings of the day or readings of the week, business tips of the week, and updates and, fun gifts and discounts and prizes as well. So, if you want to subscribe, you can go to enroll.callmeace.com. And I'm a human being. I'm easily accessible. So you reach out, I'll reach back.
Awesome. Thank you once again, Ace. This was a great conversation that we had, a lot of laughs. Just a typical Wednesday that we normally have.
This ain't a typical Wednesday for me. This was a very big blessing. Thank you again for just making the time to chat with me, sharing me on your platform. This was fun. This filled my soul up with joy. And, I just pray that you have a blessed rest of the day, and all of your listeners and viewers as well.